is the WFG WSB relationship. Without you, we wouldn't be as influential as we are in the marketplace. And thanks to what you've done, Athene was significant last year in overall total annuity sales, and we finished #1 in the entire United States in total annuity sales. And I'll highlight some of that, but a big thank you was to you guys. So for those of you that aren't riding Athene, I hope to get you excited tonight and leverage me if you need any help whatsoever with questions, illustrations. I have a team with Athene, and we're here to help you. So let me quickly stop on this slide here and just showcase what you're looking at Athene. I mean, off the bat, the conviction's there. You're working with an A+ rated carrier, right? So that's significant because every client wants to know, does the investment opportunity that they're looking at ever have an ability to default, right? Is that company ever going to go under? So it's nice to have an A+ rated company to be working with. Most importantly, these are the top 10 players in the total annuity market, right? And what's significant about this slide right here, you guys, is take a look at the #1, and even more importantly, the #2 and 3 carriers. These are the total sales as of last year, ending 2023 market sales, and these numbers were just released last month, so this is fresh. So Athene finished last year #1 in the industry at over $35.5 billion in sales, outpacing the #2 carrier by almost $11 billion. And you'll see some of these carriers on here are already on your platform, right? But what's important, and what I like to always tell you is especially the WFG top producers I work with, is we love being #1 and we like working with #1. And the #1 account we have is WFG. So here's the #1s working together, right? And we want to make sure that we can continue to partner. And Athene's always going to have the top indexes, the top products. And I'll show you how we're able to do that and what we offer. But significantly here, in this slide we're looking at, this is total annuity sales. So this is inclusive of everything from variable annuities, index annuities, traditional fixed annuities, or MYGAs. And what you'll notice is 7 years ago, those carriers in the bottom 3 used to be on the top, right? There's been a major shift from variable annuities into fixed index annuities. Why? Because the client is tired of paying fees. They're tired of being exposed to a bottomless floor. And also, you can now see index annuities providing the equity-like returns that the variable annuity counterparts are doing now. All at a guaranteed 0 floor, meaning your client will never lose 1 penny of their investment. And on top of that, at no fees. So who wouldn't be leaning towards that? So now you're seeing this significant shift into index annuities, and Athene is very powerful in what we do. And some of you that may not know Athene's name, that's intentional. We're the #1 ranked carrier in the world, and we don't spend $1 in advertising on the news. You'll never see us on network news. You'll never see us around the Super Bowl like you'll see Northwestern Mutual or maybe Lincoln or Pac Life. And I'll tell you this as well. What's unique about the #10 ranked carrier here, Pac Life, is I'm sure if I were to ask, most of you would know what their logo is, Pac Life, right? Just a rhetorical question, but I'll answer it. It's the whale. And I'll tell you this, Pac Life pays $60 million annually just to trademark that whale for their commercials and all other marketing campaigns. Now, when Athene was launched about 10 years ago, 11 years ago, we could have came out with a Greek god, to be correlated with our name, Athene, a Greek name. But we decided, our CEO was like, you know what? We're not going to put any dollar in advertising. We're going to grow the right way. We're going to grow by word of mouth. And we put that $60 million that Pac Life puts into their commercials back into product. So every single dollar you're getting is going into product. That's where we're consistently able to offer the top indexes in the world. And then this is where I'm going to highlight now. So Athene consistently year over year has the top index in the industry. And that's because we have patented strategies that are the only indexes that rebalance on an hourly basis. That's right. So if you look at the other carriers that you're able to write, I would challenge you to look at how they performed last year in a bull market in which the market was up well over 20%. If those indexes that you allocated to were in the low single digits, that should raise some red flags. How well are those indexes going to do in good markets? If they can't perform in good markets, you might as well be considering it. You just be selling for principal protection, right? With that, Athene will already sell for principal protection, but let's give the clients a reason to get the return they deserve. As an index annuity, as you know, is only as good as the engine that's driving it. And we have the best engines. As an example here, in 2023, we have two indices that are mirrored after two U.S. equity indexes. There's no switching from Japanese bonds to European equities back to U.S. bonds into U.S. cash, like other indexes that you can allocate to offer at other carriers. With us, you have an easy story. We're just using Athene's indexes that are simply the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ, which has been the top index the last 12 years. Last year, our NASDAQ FC, which stands for Fast Convergence Index, was the number one performing index in the entire world at 17.37% in the annuity marketplace. And keep in mind, you can get as high as 130% participation rate in that 17.3% return last year. So we had folks in their 80s that got over 20% returns with a guaranteed 0 floor protecting them in a worst case scenario. And then we also had the number 2 ranked index at WFG in the S&P 500 Fast Convergence Index. And that was up 14.32%, just amazing upside potential. Now there's another carrier out there that starts with A and ends in Z, and some of their top indices, which I'll walk over in a minute here, barely grows 3% or more, right? And that's where I want to just bring to light the power of an index annuity is only as good as the index that drives it. You can shop and run illustrations. It'll show backcast returns to win clients over. But what you want to prevent is a phone call from the client in year 2 coming to you asking why those indexes are not keeping up with the stock market's returns. That's where you're going to show them where Athene can come in. And going back, the 2017 year, I took a poll of all of our indexes and ranked them out. You'll see every year but 1 year we had the number 1 index at WFG. And even then in 2022, which was a down market, we had the number 1 ranked index that was up 8.5% when the stock market was down almost 30%. So in good and bad markets, we want to let you know that you're working with a winner. And to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, here's a list of a few of the carriers. I just took a screenshot. Number 1, I just want to be comparative to us, Allianz, and Corebridge. You can see here what's most unique is Athene's indices, right? So if you take a look at year 2023, you want to make sure that the indexes you're allocating to, if it's not Athene and another carrier, you want to look at the bull markets and how did those indexes perform when the stock market was up. So 2023 is a great example. Many folks that are invested in their 401ks, you have the ability to now take them out after 59.5, move them into an index annuity at Athene, guarantee them you'll never have to worry about stock market losses. Their fees, their 401k is eating up within their overall return. And now you can get them something guaranteed with uncapped growth potential. And in 2023, you can see here, just take a look at us versus the carrier just underneath us. That was one of the 4th best stock market in the history, right, of the stock market. And you'll see some of our competitors, in fact, barely made 2% returns when the stock market was up well over 20%. So that's where you want to be sure you're working with the best of the best, you guys. And that's what Athene does. So the proof is in the pudding. I just want to make sure I highlighted on that. But let's talk about some great things too. Athene doesn't want to make sure we don't want to just make sure that we have good product, whether it be income or accumulation, or good indexes to make sure your clients are hitting the returns that you're promising and they deserve. We also want to make sure that we're giving back to you. So I'm excited to announce that Athene permanently increased commissions in April by 0.41% on these following products. So going forward, anything that's a 10-year duration, you're now going to be getting an additional 0.41% commission paid to you. And that's huge. So I want to make sure that you guys were aware of that, the Athene commission hike on the following products I'm showing here. And the one I'm going to be talking about today is Performance Elite 10. That's our #1 selling product. It's the best accumulation play in the industry. And I'm excited to give you guys something to be excited about, to go after 401k rollovers with an easy story so you can win as be significantly and cement yourself as a top producer at WFG. But I know some of you are like, that's great, Grant, but what about for the top producers, like the best of the best? Like I think I can have a really good year this year. Well, that's great. I'm also proud to announce to you guys, WFG approved and signed off on a bonus program now paid to those that are able to do $3 million in a calendar year will receive a commission bonus net paid out here. So for those of you that write $3 million in a calendar year, starting January through end of December this year, Athene is going to pay you $10,500. That's net to you. That's outside pays out through the grid directly to the writing agent. So that's going to go into your pocket in addition to the commission you earn on the premium you're writing. And then the more you write, the more you get. You can see the more you write at $5 million, we pay another $7,000. So in the far right column, you'll see that's a total collective of $17,500. We had about 7 producers last year at WFG did $10 million. Had we had this program launched then, they would have received in total $35,000, right? So the sky's the limit. It doesn't stop, it's not caps. The more you write, the more you get. So I want to make sure you guys are aware of that because we're excited to introduce that today. But let's take a look at some of the award-winning products that Athene offers. I'm really excited to share with you Performance Elite 10 today. This product won Product of the Year 2 years ago, and I'll share with you why. Not just for the index performance, but because what we built into this product that's going to help your clients hit the guarantees they deserve allowed this to win Product of the Year. And here's what it provides for you. There's a few things I'm going to highlight here, but most importantly, obviously there's a significant premium bonus that issue on the Performance Elite Base 10 version, as high as 12% at no fee to the client. So that's pretty significant. Also, there's no fee on the base version, right? We have a plus version of this product, which is like the Cadillac version. However, I'm going to be talking about the base version today, but I will share the difference between the plus and the 10 base version. But what the plus provides you is number 4 listed here, enhanced liquidity. So free withdrawals of up to 20%. It's going to get you an enhanced premium bonus as well, up to 16%. And then also there's a return of premium rider on this. So the client can walk away after year 4 with all their money back, no surrender charges. So there's a peace of mind walk away if the client needs that peace of mind liquidity aspect. However, that does come at a cost of 0.95%. Now for those that don't need that liquidity, Performance Elite 10 base version is competitive. And there's no fee to explain, which always goes far. And what you're going to get with the Performance Elite 10 base version and the plus versions are as follows from a premium bonus standpoint. You'll see here, we have 2 different surrender schedules. We have the Performance Elite 7 and the Performance Elite 10. Now, the Performance Elite 10 base version is going to be the lighter green box Performance Elite. The dark green box is Performance Elite Plus. Now, I mentioned the plus comes at a cost of 0.95%, but if we're going to put a fee on something in Athene, we want to make sure that that absolutely delivers value. And you'll see on Performance Elite 10, which I'm going to be talking about today, the client can get up to 18% premium bonuses in those states, or 12% on the base version. Now, the base version is already very competitive. Imagine if you could tell your clients who's looking at a 401k rollover right now into Athene annuity that you would guarantee them, you never have to worry about 2022 stock market loss ever again, which most clients are still digging out of. Athene's going to guarantee you'll never penetrate a zero floor. You only are exposed to the upside. On top of that, I know you're still trying to overcome some of the 2022 stock market loss. Athene's going to give you a 12% premium bonus to offset that loss and get you back into where you want to be. And then we're going to move it over into Athene's Performance Elite, lock in that premium bonus day one to start growing compound interest off of, and ensure that you never lose one penny of your investment. And that's the value of Performance Elite. Also, we have what's called, we're big on participation rates at Athene. So these are all the indices that we offer. And some of them I hit on, which is the NASDAQ FC index and the S&P 500 FC index. You can see listed within here. We have a 2-year point-to-point and also a 1-year point-to-point option here. Now, what's unique about Athene is we're big on participation rates. Why is that? Well, you can tell your clients that they're going to get uncapped returns at Athene. As an example here, let's look at on the 2-year point-to-point scenario here. You can see just that first option, the AI-powered Global Opportunities Index, or AIGO as we call it. They get at a strategy charge option, which means they'll pay 1.25%, they'll capture up to 215% of whatever that index does, right? Now, if the client doesn't want to pay any fees at all, that's great. We're still competitive. They're going to capture 160% of whatever that index does over 2 years. Now, here's what's exciting. Remember I showed you the returns of our NASDAQ Fast Convergence Index and the S&P 500 FC indexes, our 2 most powerful indexes that rebalance on an hourly basis, the only indices at WFG that rebalance hourly. The NASDAQ FC index was up 17.5% last year. Now, had that client was allocated all 100% to the 1-year point-to-point, they would have captured 130% participation rate, which you can see the with charge, strategy charge option, and they correlate that over against the NASDAQ FC, and that's 130% of the 17.5% annual return, which puts them over 20% credited to their account. Now, worst case scenario, you can make it a completely no fee product, and they would have captured 100% of that. So they're still capturing all 17.5% of that index. And it's even more juicier as well on our BNP Paribas index. If you take a look at that, go to the 2-year point-to-point on the top. Look at the 3rd index down, the BNP Paribas, our MAD5 index, which has been our flagships going back to the mid-90s. Participation rates as high as 310%. So you're multiplying, 4% even. Let's say the index did 4% last year. You're capturing 310% of that 4%, right? So clients are getting, mid-teens some year returns. It's significant. That's the power of accumulation. There's no income rider to explain. It's pure growth, guaranteed floor, guaranteed premium bonus, and uncapped growth potential, right? And all at no fees. That's the competitive aspect of this. And why this product won one product of the year is this. Now, going back to this previous slide real quick, you see there's 2 columns on the far right. You have the strategy charge option, which the client can choose to benefit in more upside potential at a cost of 1.25%. Now, let's say the client was 100% allocated into the strategy charge option. They put $100,000 in that contract. They're 100% in the strategy charge BNP index. So they're hoping to get a little bit more upside market capture. However, after the 10 years, you see they put, in this example, they put 100 grand in, but they ended up paying $15,000 in strategy costs and only received, the next column down, $13,000 in gains credited to their account. Well, that's not cool, because that means they end the contract after the 10 years, $2,000 in the hole at 98 grand. Now, what Athene does, if they have money allocated into any strategy charges and hold and do not surrender for the whole contract, The last day of the surrender schedule, we do a look back, and if we see that they paid more in fees than what they received in gains, we're going to make the client whole. We're going to reimburse them all of their money that was allocated up to their original investment or in cost basis. So you can always guarantee the client they'll never lose one penny of their investment. That's huge, right? That's significant. And that's why Performance Lead is hands down the best accumulation play in the industry and at WFG. Let's take a look at an example here, because I like to learn by illustrations, then we'll take some questions. So in this scenario here, this is a Performance Elite 10 base version. We're not in Performance Elite Plus, so there's no fee on this. This client is allocated 100% into the no strategy charge option, meaning they're not paying 1.25% to get a little bit more upside capture. And we're not cherry picking here either. I ran this for a client last week, a 401k rollover. We split it up, a mix of 1 year point to point and 2 year point to point indices, and did it 3 different indexes: the NASDAQ, our S&P 500 Fast Convergence, and our BNP MAD 5 index. And right here you can see what you get right off the bat in the top left. I highlight for you what we give the client just for rolling over their money from their IRA or 401k. In this case, this is a $250,000 investment by a 60-year-old client. We paid them $30,000 to move their money over. Their concerns were they were still digging out of a high fees, but also they were near all equity in their 401k and were down about 30% that year. And last year was a good year in 2023, but they were still trying to recover. So we were told them, what if we were able to offset that down year, get you back way into the green, into the money, and pay you $30,000? They're like, tell me more. Well, here's what we'll do. We'll also guarantee you'll never lose one penny of your investment. And we're going to give you uncapped growth potential with 3 of the best indices in the world. Now let's take a look at what this would look like had you invested this money 10 years ago. So right at the first line there, I highlighted from age 60 to 61. In year 1, it was a measly rate of return, right? You can see it's reflective of recent calendar years, 2022. You can see it was up 2.17%. Not very competitive, but realistic, right? The client, after the $30,000 premium bonus, was up $286,000 on their $250,000 investment year 1. Now here's where it gets interesting, is compound interest, right? Let's fast forward 10 years. The client is now 70 years old. They're walking away after some significant years of upside potential. The client's walking away nearly more than doubling their investment at $717,000. That second green circled line I circled for you there in the accumulated value. Now the power of this is going to be, this is no fees. This is a truly naked index annuity. There's no costs taken out of the account value here. You're getting uncapped growth potential, and all at the no fees, like I said. And you're able to participate in some of the significant bull market years and have correlation to that as well. So in this case, the client was in their 60s, and one of those years at age 64, they saw a 34% return. Now, this is just looking at the naked annuity, no fees whatsoever. But for those that like to go in the strategy charge option, and knowing that Athene will reimburse the client if our indexes do not perform, you may wonder, what would that look like? Well, let's look at the exact same scenario. Same client, same indexes chosen. It's just 100% allocated into our strategy charges now. And here's that slide. So you can see the difference here. Same client getting $30,000 premium bonus off year 1. Same growth, same index performance. You're just getting more participation rate because you're paying 1.25% for more upside capture. Now the difference being 10 years later, that client's $250,000 grew to $823,000, over $100,000 more by allocating into the strategy charge options. And this is net of that cost. So this illustration is net of fees. So you can see the client is in some cases almost going up 3x what they put in with no exposure to a negative year whatsoever. It's incredible. And so that's what we've been able to do to Athene. And that's what's helped driven us through our indexes to be number one in the world. And we're excited to be here. And I'm excited to be here tonight talking to you about this product specifically. So the illustrations are the proof in the puddings. These are historically driven. And you can see our indexes are, you can Google the returns, right? The difference being at Athene, the client is going to participate in 100% plus the par rate of whatever the index perform. Keep in mind, our indexes are available to accredited investors, right? Just so happens they have to invest at $10 million minimum. Now you, me, your clients can all get in at $10,000 minimum, or as much as they want, right? We can take a $100 million contract. We have no capital constraints at Athene. So if you have some huge clients, just know that we'll pay full commission on up to $15 million in one case. So that's just something to let you know, because I know there's a lot of money to be made out there, and you never know who you meet, right? So show them the power in what you do. The time is now. It's an incredible year to be a financial agent right now. As a producer, you're seeing 10-year treasuries at the highest they've been in decades. So index annuities, especially Athene's, are the highest we've ever been able to offer this. And we don't know how much longer this will last. The Fed could drop rates soon, and in which case you'll see most carriers start to trickle their rates down. So act with urgency. Go after and get those 401k rollovers. Tell them the time is now, because you don't know how long it could be before this opportunity is no longer there. Now, to recap on this product, I'm just going to show you the main difference here on this slide between our Performance Elite base version and the Plus version. On the Plus, as I said, right at the top there, the far right, darker green box, is going to give you all the check marks you see here, right? But it comes at a rider charge cost of 0.95%. Now, again, a fee is only relevant in the absence of value. And in our case at Athene, if we're going to put a cost on the product, we're going to make sure it absolutely delivers 100% more than what the client's paying. And that's what we do. But it just so happens that 7 out of 10 contracts we see at Athene are the base version, specifically the Performance Elite 10 base version, which is that middle box, middle green box. With that, you're getting a free premium bonus up to 12%, right? And they still have liquidity in year 2 up to 5% free withdrawals. So there's that opportunity for them. But with that, I want to make sure you guys were familiar with the easiest and best growth story in the industry today. And at this point, I can pivot back to you, the host, actually, and we can perhaps navigate some Q&A, if that's okay.
Wow, that's so short, Grant. Anyway, team, do you guys have any question for Grant?
Yes, please.
Go ahead, Ate.
Yeah, during application, you choose the indices or the strategy options for the client. How soon can you change or put to a different allocation?
Yeah, good question. So the client gets letter from Athene about 28 days before their anniversary. And they've got 28 days to make a change to their current allocations. And you as the agent can also go into the portal and update their allocations for them at Athene.com. So you can do that electronically at Athene.com as well. So, but to answer your question, they have 28 days before their anniversary to make changes. If they get the letter and they don't make any changes, the indexes will just stay invested as is.
So just for example, you chose the 2-year point to point. So you have to wait like a year, more than a year before the client can make a change?
Yeah, it's 2 years, right? It's a 2-year point to point. So you would wait 2 years. That means they're capturing the gains of the indexes chosen for 2 years' time, right? And then once that 2 year comes due, again, we'll send them a letter, and you'll get notice as well 28 days before the anniversary to let you know it's time to make some changes if needed.
So for us, like new agents, and we're trying to help the clients, what right with the present market going on right now, what's the best strategy indices or options that we could pick from?
So I'll tell you this. You know, every client's different, but if it were me, or let's say if it were my mother that were investing in Performance Elite right now, I would personally put her money in what I illustrated here, right? So that's going to be the NASDAQ fast convergence, our S&P 500 fast convergence, and our BNP Paribas Mad 5. Essentially a third each, right? And I do like the 2-year point-to-point time frames. There's more upside potential by doing so. So that's what I like, is the NASDAQ or S&P 500 FC, and then also the BNP Mad 5.
Thank you very much.
You bet. Good questions.
Oh, sounds like Atife has a rollover. Anyway, next is Laura. Go ahead, Laura.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Vantigan, and my SMD is Lizelle Kamanag. Hello, Grant.
Hi.
I'm just basically new in the business, and I haven't done any rollover yet, and we're working on one right now. So it's my first time. So my question is, doing your first annuity rollover, what are the things you must explain to your client, and what are the tables you should be able to explain to them?
Yeah, so if you're doing a rollover for the clients, you want to highlight whatever the pain points are they're currently experiencing. In that case, number one, the clients, you know, in their IRA or 401ks is going to be exposed to any down market year, right? So what you have going for you is they're fresh off an incredibly bad year. The fourth worst stock market in history happened in 2022. And that's fresh in everybody's minds. So now it's in your time to take advantage of that, knowing you're coming off one of the worst stock markets ever, and then pivot that into selling Performance Elite, right? Because you're gonna totally remove that risk and concern or worry of being exposed to an ability to lose money in your investment, because an annuity, as you know, is contractual and it's 100% guaranteed. You can't lose any money whatsoever. On top of that, you're going to remove all fees, right? 401ks, IRAs, there's fees involved in their investments, their mutual funds, maybe the ETFs. They all have what's called an expense ratio. An expense ratio is another word for a fee. So it's eating up at the overall returns. More importantly, as folks age and they approach their golden years of life, they can no longer afford to be 100% all in stock, right? Because obviously you're approaching the end of your life. You want to protect your nest egg. So you start to move to more conservative investments. What you have going for you on this call is the financial advisor at Merrill Lynch down the street cannot say the word guarantee, but you can, right? And not only that, you can tell them you guarantee that that client will never lose their money again, but you'll also be able to put a premium bonus on that of up to 12% and get them more returns than what any financial advisor can do on Wall Street for somebody in their 70s, right? Nobody's going to be able to get a 70-year-old some of the returns that we've been able to do for our clients, all at a zero floor and no fees on top of it all, right? So the benefit is that you just want to press on the pain points and then provide the benefit to the pain points, which I did for you.
You're good, Laura? You're muted. You're muted, Laura.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Oh, so one more question, Grant. So in the illustration, for example, because I got an illustration from AMS and Athene is one of them. There are I saw actually three tables there that says guaranteed annuity contract values. The second one is non-guaranteed annuity contract values, and the third one is a fixed 5% return table. So which one should we be explaining to the client?
I'd have to see what you're looking at, but I think I may know. What you're going to want to show the client is going to be the non-guaranteed, right? Because that's showing the returns of the indexes they select. It's simply called non-guaranteed because you can't. Past historical returns are indicative of future results, right? So you can't. It's just showing what would be projected had they invested 10 years ago. But that's the one you want to show a realistic rate of return.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Laura. Yeah, we will work it on tomorrow for our client. So who else has a question, please? This is the time for you to ask. No more? Ate Fe, go ahead. I know you have more questions.
Yeah, my question is, once the client has the account, he created the account, does he have a control like a regular 401k?
I'm sorry that it cut out. Does he have a what, like a 401k?
Like they have a control, like an online control.
Oh yeah, of course. Every client, including you as the agent, has access to their investment online at Athene.com. You go in, you create an account, and you click on all the policies you own at Athene, and you click on that policy, and up will pop the contract value, and they can be able to track their account value growth and everything they want. And that's where they can also make changes to indexes and things like that.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Okay, more questions, please. We still have time. But I know for sure, Grant, we have a teammate in this call who just texted me, and they have their own 401ks to roll over. So that will be an awesome training from you.
Yeah.
So yes, but of course, I want you guys to ask questions instead of asking me later on.
Hey, Grant.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hey, Grant, this is Edwina from Nevada, Henderson, Nevada.
How are you?
I'm good. My question is it what's the earliest age people can start pulling money, lifetime payment? Is it same for everything, for every company? Is it like 59 and a half?
Correct. It's going to be 59 and a half for all clients, right?
General. Okay. And I have another question, Grant.
Mm-hmm.
So what if the contract stops at 10-year? Is there a 11th, 12th year, or they could just leave that policy there, or can we just jump to another contract?
Yeah, so the client has options, right? They can certainly leave their money invested after the 10 years is up, and it'll just stay allocated as it was in the indexes. Or they could take their money and walk away. Or what I would recommend, and especially if they don't need the money now, you could renew the contract, get them another premium bonus, and it pays you another commission, right? And it gets them that premium bonus of another, in the example I showed before, $30,000. So that's significant. So they have those three options.
Thanks, Grant.
You bet.
Awesome. Okay. Any more question? Dan, do you have any question, Dan?
No question. I just used this Performance Elite last time, so I really look into it. So I got all the teaching of Grant right now.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay.
I do have one.
Go
Lizelle.
ahead. Go
Hi,
ahead.
I'm Ben from Houston. The two products that you showed us earlier is the accumulation products, right? 7 and 10. Can you show me how you pulled the illustration, the one that you did earlier?
Yeah. So you want to know specifically what I allocated into?
Yes, and then how to pull that illustration, for example, to show a client.
Yeah, for sure.
Non-guaranteed, yeah.
Yeah. So let's connect. So can you guys see my screen still? I'm gonna share with you contact information. Let me just.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's some contact information for myself and my partner, Zach. These are our direct emails, right? So I travel obviously across the country, so sometimes I'm on the road, but I'm always by email. And then Zach he works by his desk every weekday, right? So I would reach out to both of us. My email, for those of you maybe perhaps in the car, it's G Smith. My name is Grant Smith, so it's my first initial, then last name, gsmith@athene.com. And my partner, Zach, is just as familiar. It's Z Brown for Zach Brown, zbrown@athene.com. So reach out to us and we can set up some time to walk through an illustration, show you, get you familiarized and comfortable with it.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
More questions, please?
Hi, Grant.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Hi, this is Evelina Coleman. This is my first time coming into this annuity training, and I'm so pleased to be here. I'm so interested in this one. I just noticed that your illustration, as compared to others, the payout rate is kind of less. And when is that the lifetime payment starts? Like, for example, 60 years old. And is there any enhanced benefit on this one?
No.
Yeah, so the illustration I ran today was accumulation only, right? There's no income rider on this one. This is going to be the pure growth play. Next Monday, we're going to be walking through income with you guys. So that's why I just did accumulation today. And then Zach Brown is going to be walking through our income stories a week from today. But so on this particular illustration, because it's accumulation only, there's no income rider on the product. The client, if they do need any of the money, they would just take a free withdrawal on the contract. And as long as they're over 59 and a half, they can take that free withdrawal, right?
Yeah, I apologize because I was not able to get the first taste of your presentation, so I did not realize it was just
no worries. No worries. No worries. And so that's glad you asked.
And
Okay,
so maybe Grant, my question to you is, because we have a lot of new teammates here, is who will be our client for accumulation?
Client?
So the best client, the way to look at it is anybody that's age 30 all the way up to 83, right? If somebody doesn't necessarily need income, let's say somebody's well off, you're meeting with them, they have the money, they don't necessarily need any income, but they want to just put their money in a place where it can grow and grow at an engine behind it, right? With significant more returns than what they can get in a CD or at the bank, then that's where accumulation comes in. So accumulation is very popular for folks in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, because not everybody needs guaranteed income, right? And we had a couple of Los Angeles Dodgers baseball players just put their signing bonus in this product, right? So they're in their upper 20s, but at the same time, they can let this go. They're going to let this compound until they need the money after age 59 and a half, completely growing tax deferred. And at that point, they'll have other areas for cash to take income from. So this is going to be geared for those younger at age 30. WFG minimum issue age is age 30, up to age 83, which is the max issue age. And it's really going to be designed based on the interview, right? So if you see the client doesn't necessarily have a need to worry about outliving their paychecks, or they have other areas they can tap into for cash, or a business they could sell for money, this is where you're going to do. This is going to be your CD alternative, your bond alternative. That's going to absolutely crush the CDs and bonds, right? And do so in some cases, like last year, we had some 80-year-olds get 21% returns on their account statement.
Awesome. So maybe because of you, Evelina, we will be requesting Grant for an illustration training. So maybe one of these Mondays, we can just, concentrate on doing illustrations. So I'll call you again or email you for that request, Grant.
That'd be great. And we can also make sure Zach does that next week too, because I know he just secured that time with you as well.
Yes.
I have this other opportunity because I'm not going to be here for the next 2 weeks. So sorry to miss that.
Okay. So we can ask Ging's help to record it for you. So, but of course, we are thinking for all of us to have a product training like this. So if I can share my screen, and thank you, Grant, for tonight.
Yes, thank you.
I learned something, most especially the bonus. Okay. Okay, so thank you. And let me share my screen. We have 10 more minutes. If you can unshare your screen, Grant, please.
Yep, we'll do that. And I'll leave you guys with this before I take off.
Go ahead.
Just know, and this is unique for you guys. Now that you know me and Zach, I want to make sure that any business you send our way, send me and Zach an email with that policy number as soon as you get it from AMS. And what I'll do is I'll hand push that same day through suitability for you, and we'll get that issued as soon as possible. Because I realize sometimes some folks are up against a promotion end of month, right? Mm-hmm. You need the money issued as soon as possible so you can get the commission. Well, as a platinum partner at WFG, we pay commission same day the policy goes to issue, right? So you'll get the commission goes to WFG during the midnight overnight cycle, the day of issue. So let me know the policy numbers you send us, and I'll push every single piece of your business. I want to leave you guys with that. So thank you again for the time.
Awesome, Grant. And me personally, I want to invite you. We will have our Train the Trainers here in Las Vegas on June 22nd. That will be Saturday. So if you're available and if you have the chance, please visit us in our Las Vegas office. And so you can meet all of us, and we can also have a personal training with you. So we'll talk about it. We'll email
Yeah, we'd like that. Let's take that offline and set that up.
There you go. So that will be June 22nd. And if you're available, please confirm to us. And so we will love to learn from you in person. And this will be our flyer.
Love it. Okay. June 22nd. So let me look at the calendar and we'll connect. Let's connect tomorrow on that.
Sure.
You got it. Well, thanks again for the time, everybody, and have a good night.
Thank you, Grant. But for all of us here, this is for you, Avelina. We will have another training for next Monday, and that's only in regards of also Athene product, but focusing on pension or income. So this training is for clients that they are ready to take out money, or that they are ready to distribute their money from their 401k. And it's not gonna be Grant, but it's Zach Brown.
Thank you.
Also last is, if you like, for Marlon, who's about to roll over, and for Laura, of course, before we can roll over, we have to do our paperwork and licensing and training. So thanks to our EVC Dondon, this before you submit your first account, information is in our Dropbox. So I highly suggest, please go over, create your AMS, your Sure LC and Reged for training. And yes, we would love for you guys to go to our Saturday, Super Saturday. I hope Grant will be there to train us in person for an illustration. And then June 24th, I already confirmed with Javier to teach us about One America. It's a life insurance for a long-term care needs. So specifically for long-term standalone long-term care. So that will be our lined up for this month of June for product training. So please mark your calendar, save the date, and most of our, if you guys have any requests for any kind of product training, please let us know. And our purpose is just for us to be, powerful in the field, for us to know products this time, not only about, building people. So that's all for tonight. If you guys have any question or you guys have any comment, please unmute your line. My question to you guys is this our Monday training effective to you all?
Yes, it is.
Me?
Yes.
Yes. Of course.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, the goal is for us to go out in the field, right? So we are now equipped. We are now we have our contact person. Okay, and so the goal is just to have points for our 315.
That's right.
Okay, that's right. So that's all. That's all for me. Any other last words from our EVC? Last words. Any?
Ate Lizelle,
Yes.
can I provide feedback? This is
Sure.
Sharon.
Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was for us. I think that I haven't done annuity rollover or are still new. It was a little bit hard or to catch up with with the level of training provided. I think as it went through the end, we were able to grasp a little bit, but in the beginning, I had a hard time.
It's normal. It's not easy. Okay. Please, for all new ones, don't overwhelm yourself. We don't expect for you guys to understand everything. But do you guys know that the best training is your first account? Okay. So anything to say, Mr. EVC Don Don?
Wow, CEO na. Now it's CEO handling it. Good job,
Yes.
Steph. All right, I'm not surprised with the question. I'm not surprised why you are confused and overwhelmed. But that's not the purpose of this. The purpose of this is for you to know that there are solutions like that. Okay, when you're starting like me, when I was starting, I didn't know this until, like what Lisa said, until I wrote my first account. The idea for this training is how do you communicate to your prospect or your client? If you can communicate, if you can articulate that, okay, your pain points, your client's pain points, that they're losing money in their 401k, if you can give them a solution wherein they cannot lose money anymore, okay, plus they have a bonus when they roll it over, then the rest, bring a trainer to explain it. And after you write your first account, 80% of your questions will be answered. It's hard to answer it unless you do your first account. Okay, and that's the idea for this training. Again, the training is not to make you an expert right away. Okay, the idea for training is to let you know that those solutions exist. How do you articulate it? How do you offer it? That's the first thing that we need to understand. Okay. All right. Now, some recognition. I just wanna recognize because 2 months of this contest. Okay. Remember when we attend our convention on the 17th. Okay, day 3 of the convention. Those who attained GX status for May, May and June, or June, May or June, if you're GX1, you'll go up with us in the top of the world restaurant, okay, wherein you will have a panoramic dinner view of the whole Las Vegas Strip, okay? So far, the month closed already, but there's only 4 people who All right. Like Avelina, Emmy, Ricardo, Danielle, Fabisa, Sol, Lizelle, Ricky, Stella, Benji, Ida, Maricor, and Alexandra, they all have 3 recruits for the GX. But the points, only 4 people actually showed the points online, which is Ricky, Avi, Benji, and Sol. So we have 4 qualifiers so far. Now, this is the last month to qualify. Let's make sure most of us hit our GX, only the top 50, because these people can bring their spouse, okay? So literally it's top 25 with spouse. If you're single like Ricky, then well, no spouse. But it's top 50. Those are the cream of the crop for elite team who will have an exclusive dinner with us on the 17th, July 17th. All right? So, with that, good job, Lisa.
Picture.
Okay. You do the picture. I'll
Okay,
see.
1, 2. Yeah, we have 51 attendees tonight. Please save the date for next week. It's gonna be, Athene company, but focusing on income.
Income.
So
For
income.
those who will get pension. All right. And now, also, Ging, I saw you, Ging. Ging, were you able to record this?
Yes, sir.